before Tampa was.
Okay.
You ready?
We're live now.
Cool.
So microphones are off. Cameras
You
are
should
off.
see it, then you might need to refresh it, but if you go to the page, hopefully it'll pop up.
Yeah, it usually takes a minute for it to catch up.
There it is.
Okay, so they probably
there
only
you go.
you'll probably
You
just
share
hear some
that to
music.
your stuff, and then people can be notified that you're doing your thing, Kristen.
Okay. I'll tell the team for sure.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers, by real producers, and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers, such as our guest today. We get to hang out with Miss Kristen Comstock is in the house. How you doing, Kristen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to have you here. It's been a
Thank
little
you.
while since we've seen each other.
It has been a long time. I'm
I
really
know,
excited.
I know, no doubt. I mean, if you could see Kristen here, she's looking gorgeous in her purple outfit. I mean, she came in and made us look much better as soon as she arrived. So we're glad to have her here. We're going to dive into Kristen's story as we always do. But those of you who follow us might recognize Kristen from a couple of years ago. We featured her as a rising star in Tampa Bay real estate. I think that was back in 2019 at the time. So things have changed in Kristen. Not that she's not still a star, as she is, but things have changed in Kristen's business, which we'll talk about. And there's some really exciting things happening. So Kristen, let's start a little bit for people who might not be as familiar with your story, just with your background. And
Absolutely.
so I know that you're got a military background. We talked off camera about how you were a Marine, so I'm sure people would love that.
Well,
but
once a Marine, always a Marine.
of course, always a Marine. That's a good point. Thank you for
Yes.
fixing that.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
So let's start with your background. Did you grow up in Tampa Bay? If not, how did you get here? And then we'll eventually get to how you got into real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did not grow up in Tampa Bay. I actually am from Louisiana. So I grew up in
You can
Louisiana.
hear the southern drawl
Yes,
sometimes. Yes,
I do. When I get mad, you can definitely hear the southern drawl. So I grew up in Louisiana and joined the Marine Corps out of college. And so traveled for a long time doing that and met my amazing husband. And then when we
who was also a Marine?
Yes,
Yes.
he was a Marine as well. And then when we got stationed here, we kind of planted roots.
So the Marines is what brought you to Tampa Bay. Okay.
Yes.
So obviously from MacDill, I'm assuming you were
Yes.
working out of there. And how long again were you in the Marines?
So I was in 5 years active duty.
Okay. What are some of the places that you get to travel to?
Oh my goodness. So we were stationed in Japan, Okinawa, Japan for a while.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
We love Okinawa. I would definitely live there again, actually.
Nice.
It was very, the people there are just so wonderful. They're so friendly. I joke all the time, you could leave your car unlocked and your car would be like with the keys on the seat, with the door shut, like everything nice and tidy.
Wow.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, a little different than some of the American cities, huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Is there anything else about like Japan specifically that stood out to you?
The food is amazing.
Yeah,
So
I'm a big
there's the
sushi fan,
food.
so
Yes,
I can
yes.
get that. The American version, though, of sushi is different, I would imagine, than the real Japanese food, or am I
Yes,
wrong?
we actually went to, my business partner and I, we went to a meeting yesterday and went and got sushi, and the waitress was asking us how it was. And I was like, comparatively speaking, I mean, you're doing pretty good.
You have high standards.
Yeah,
You were
exactly.
living in the origin there for a while.
Exactly.
So you got to travel to Japan, saw a lot of the world through your experience in the Marines, and then when you came to Tampa, was real estate the first thing that you got into? Did you always have an interest in real estate, or how did that go down?
So the real story about how that went down is I got out of the Marine Corps and my husband re-enlisted and he was stationed here at MacDill, and I decided that I was going to be an amazing stay-at-home wife and I was going to cook and I was going to clean and I was going to work out and look amazing. And about 2 weeks into that, I was like, I'm so bored. So this isn't going to work for me. And so we ended up purchasing our first house at the time and didn't have the best experience. And so I threw myself into the industry and learned and ended up getting licensed, and kind of my career took off from there.
Yeah. That's funny. I've heard a similar story many times about, top producers who got into real estate because they had a bad experience buying their first home or buying a home. It's funny how often I hear that element of it. It's like, there's got to be a better way. And so you just figure that
Exactly.
you'll provide it yourself, right?
Exactly.
It's funny how that works.
Yes.
So you got involved with real estate, and was it like an immediate fit for you? Did you have struggles a lot in your early years, or did you get some traction pretty quickly?
So I definitely had traction really quickly. I ended up being the Rookie of the Year for the current real estate office I was a part of. And I think the Marine Corps background definitely helped me with that.
Yeah.
Just being structured and, not having my own boss. I was my own boss, but I really knew how to structure my day to make my time as successful as possible and to help. My husband ended up deploying and we didn't have kids. So
Oh, really?
all I had was real estate to focus on.
Oh, wow. So there was definitely a big life change there,
There was
all at the same time.
absolutely, yeah.
That's interesting. So I was going to ask you, you mentioned already kind of the time blocking component that I think is really critical for people to be successful in real estate, and knowing how to be disciplined enough to do that.
Yes.
Seems like the Marines would have drilled that into you in many ways.
Literally.
Exactly. Is there anything else specifically to your experience with the Marines that you feel like really has played a role in your ability to succeed in real estate?
Discipline and self-control.
Yeah.
Absolutely discipline and self-control. Having to be disciplined, not just with your time, but your value. I think as new agents, and I've seen this a lot as of recently, is because there is a lot of competition in our industry. It's whatever I have to do to get the listing or whatever I have to do to get the sale. And that is not always the best use of your time.
Sure.
It may actually be a huge time waster. And so if you know and have the discipline to set those boundaries on who is a good fit to work with you, and you can set that high level expectation, not only with the people that you work in the industry, but your clients, I think that is a recipe for success for sure.
Have you found, Kristen, that your background, as a Marine, always once a Marine, always Marine, has that been a catalyst for you to attract certain clients? And do you serve that veteran community a lot? Has that been a niche for you?
Yes, it has been a huge area that I really love to serve. And it's funny because not everybody is open about the fact that they served our country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times you don't know unless you are a veteran and you pick up on something that they say and you're like, wait a minute, are you prior, military? Did you serve our country? And they're like, oh yeah, but that was a long time ago. I'm like, hold on a second.
What's up, Rob?
Can we stop for a second? This has crashed and I need to restart.
Wonderful.
Okay.
They can still hear us, but it's only the iPhone camera, and I'd really like to get those back up. This whole scenario has crashed, so I need to restart the stream.
Okay.
Is that something?
The live stream, you're saying?
Yeah, the live stream. If you can just, because we have a couple of people in the audience, I just want the audience to know that we're gonna restart.
So what do you want me to do? Say something? tell the live audience that we're all right. We're gonna restart. Apparently, we have a crashed computer over here. The joys of technology.
Yes.
So we're gonna reboot and pick up the conversation with Kristen Comstock. Check out this beautiful music that Rob's gonna kick on here in the meantime. I'm assuming. So we'll do that. So the live stream is cut. You're saying now?
Yeah,